I'm writing this from the maintenance stairwell behind Main Street, hands trembling so hard I can barely keep the screen in focus. I can hear something moving outside the door, slow, wet footsteps, impossibly heavy. Its shadow keeps stuttering beneath the gap, back and forth, back and forth. The humming is louder now. I know it's looking for me. God, I hope it never finds this post. I should never have touched the keys. I should never have thought about rule number 14, let alone broken it. They tell us all to keep our heads down, stay magical, smile when the music shifts, but nobody ever tells you what happens if you disobey. Or maybe they do, and your mind just slides right off it, the way mine did. Until it was already too late. The worst part? I thought working at Disneyland, okay, fake Disneyland, weird landfill Ohio Disneyland, would finally be my way out. Since I was a kid, I wanted this. I dreamed about the pastel castles and smiling mascots, the safe glow of lights against cold nights. I thought I'd finally made it. That magic is a mask, and I ripped it off tonight. I'm so sorry. You don't know what Gate 9 is. You've never heard of the second parade. Lucky you. If you're even reading this, maybe you're not supposed to. Maybe you signed up for the mailing list out of boredom, hoping for free tickets or a coupon. If you get a real reply, just delete it. Never look up the shift schedule. Never answer a late-night call about emergency staffing. If anyone tells you the rules are just corporate nonsense, run. If this is my last post, remember, the rules are there for a reason. Never go anywhere after the park closes. Never answer a mascot if you hear your own name whispered. Never open any door marked with a handprint. I broke the final rule. Please, don't ever come looking for me. But I guess if you're here, you want to know everything from the start. If you've ever wanted to work in a place where you never grow up, where every corner should pulse with color and possibility, you'd understand why I said yes without thinking. The email came late, a cheery invitation to fill out my details, a few easy questions, and then, congratulations. You've been selected to join Disneyland Ohio's cast family. Just reading the words sent a thrill through me. Not that I told anyone at first. People snicker if you mention Disneyland Ohio, because most folks don't remember it exists if they ever heard of it at all. The first ride out there felt like stepping into a parallel universe. The interstate grays faded to miles of overgrown cornfields, broken only by the distant twinkle of fairy lights and a jittery, pastel-painted skyline. The entrance sign didn't swoop or sparkle. It squatted near a cracked parking lot, daubed with peeling paint, like a cartoon left too long in the sun. Still, even that couldn't ruin my hope. This was supposed to be my second chance. My little slice of glitter-dusted Americana, hidden in the heartland. Everyone, everywhere, thinks they know what happens behind the scenes at a park like this. I did too. I pictured locker rooms strung with old balloons and crew jackets, secret doors you'd only see if you worked there, all those silly, harmless rumors about after-hours tunnel raves and celebrities larking around in mouse ears. Who wouldn't want to be in the club? When I finally parked far from the main gate, in a gravel lot where weeds tickled my ankles, I watched a group of cast streaming in. They looked normal enough. A couple of college kids, one tired mom in faded scrubs, an old man clutching a plastic thermos. Some laughed, though it died quick, their heads turning to check the security pod, a black glass box almost hidden in the tree line. Inside the employee center, everything was off by about 10 degrees. The carpets were blue, not Disney blue, but too bright, almost violet. The framed posters on the walls starred mascots I didn't recognize, some with round heads and toothy grins, a princess in a striped dress I'd never seen on marketing. The lobby music sounded close to Disney, too close, but the melodies stumbled in odd places, looping one or two notes too long. The woman checking us in never blinked. I mean that literally, she chirped, "Welcome, welcome," and slid paperwork over the counter without moving her eyelids once. The name on her badge was MRS, Rabbit. She wore enormous white gloves. There was a happiness here, but it felt brittle. I flashed my phone for the ID QR and caught the glance of another new hire, a kid in a Mickey sweatshirt. He looked relieved, but while he waited, he kept tracing something in the cuff of his sleeve, a tiny stitched handprint. They made us sign all the usual forms: NDA, liability, emergency contacts. The fine print warned us that you may occasionally experience brief disorientation during your tenure as an employee. This is normal. I tried to laugh. No one joined in. Then came the welcome home video of VHS transfer, all static and warped colors, showing grinning staff waving plastic flags in empty streets, promising us new friends and core memories. The final frame lingered an extra second too long, the image wrapped in strange, shimmering static. The tagline was, "The magic is waiting, but only for the worthy." No one asked about that line. We just stared, even as the room seemed to quiet and flatten around us. But my first real indication things were off came on orientation day. Orientation started bright and early the next morning, or so we thought. The clocks in the break room ticked out of rhythm with our phones. It made my scalp itch just noticing it. The group of us, about a dozen new hires, milled around the folding tables clutching our name badges, waiting for someone to take charge. Whenever someone tried making small talk, it got snuffed out quick as static. Even the air felt heavy with hush. Then he walked in. He looked normal average dad build. Thinning hair, sunburned nose. His badge read Mr. Weller. But he never once gave his own name. He started with a weird joke about how every cast member is part of the magic, right down to the shoes. But nobody really laughed. We all lined up like kids on a field trip, herded into a cramped, windowless conference room. There was only one door out, and a black and white CCTV camera blinked in the corner. They passed around a packet. Park policies and rules. The font was dense, size 9, like they wanted to slip details past us. Mr. Weller stood at the front with this forced smile and started reading the rules aloud, one by one. At first, they seemed standard for a theme park. Rule number 1. All employees must remain in uniform while on duty. Rule number 2. Unscheduled breaks are not permitted unless pre-approved. Rule number 3. Lost children should be escorted directly to the guest relations office. We nodded absently, doodled on the edges, nothing weird. But the next one snagged me. Rule number 4. If you encounter a guest asking for a family member who isn't in the park's records, escort them to security. Do not answer any further questions. A soft cough flickered from one of the college kids. Mr. Weller didn't even look up. Rule number 5. Do not remain in any attraction vehicle after closing time. Rule number 6. If you find a locker that is unlocked, do not touch or open it. Notify your supervisor immediately. And then rule number 7. Smiling mascots should never be alone on your shift. If you see one unattended, alert security immediately. This one drew tense glances. Someone whispered, "Mascots don't walk alone anyway, right?" But Weller just kept rolling. Rule number 8. All staff must avoid the Moonlight Pavilion after dark. Rule number 9. If you hear the park music slow or reverse, return to the employee center as quickly as possible. Each rule got odder, the language more precise. A few pages in, there were full redactions, black stripes covering whole sentences. Rule number 10. Redacted. Rule number 11. If you are approached by someone claiming to be a former cast member, do not engage. Report the encounter to your supervisor at once. A guy beside me mouthed, "Are we being pranked?" But the room only seemed to warp, the buzzing air coiling tighter around our shoulders. Some started forcing nervous laughs, but nobody was joking. Even the weirdest among us, the tattooed girl in the faded bell shirt, sat still, eyes wide. Mr. Weller's finger paused on one page, lips thinning. Then he skipped. One whole rule, not even a number. The paper just jumped from 12 to 14. Rule number 14. In the event of an emergency, do not attempt to leave the park without formal clearance from management. Rule number 15. All staff must smile when on the clock, especially when observed by security or characters. The last section was a flurry of legalese about special events and unique guest experiences. Before anyone could ask questions, the floor vibrated, an unseen tram rumbling past. Or maybe something bigger. The table shivered between us. At the end, he laced his fingers and met each of our gazes, lingering just a hair too long. Remember, these aren't just for show. Every rule is there because, at some point, someone decided not to follow them. And not all of them got to tell their story. A kid in the back, maybe 16, too young for this place, raised a hand. What about Rule 13? Was that crossed out for a reason? Mr. Weller's smile sharpened. There is no Rule 13. He said it like you'd say, there are no ghosts, except in the way that grown-ups lie to children. After the official rules, there was a Q&A period, but no one asked anything. We just kind of stared at the floor tiles, processing the weight of it all. Even the sounds were off. distant pipe clangs, occasional static bursts from the wall intercom, sometimes overlapping with Mr. Weller's words until it was impossible to tell if he'd even said what we'd just heard. On our way out, Ms. Rabbit reappeared, still not blinking, waving us on with one gloved hand. The college kid beside me said, barely audible, "This place eats new hires alive." He tried to mask it as a joke, but nobody smiled. I left orientation gripping the rules packet too tightly, knuckles white, heart thumping as if I'd been running. Some of the rules made sense to me, even if they hurt my head. Some felt like puzzles with pieces torn out. I should have asked about Rule 13. Back then, I thought it was just corporate weirdness. Until my first shift. I thought I was ready. The first shift is always the hardest, right? I'd studied my little map, put on the uniform with the starchy collar and two big polyester vests, and tried to believe the smile in the break room mirror. You tell yourself it's just a job, just theater, just a little pageantry layered over normal life. But Disneyland, Ohio at night isn't like the stories you've heard. You've probably heard those stories: slacking teens daring each other into the tunnels, managers screaming about dropped ice cream buckets, the usual urban legends about haunted animatronics and secret passageways. None of them get it right. The real strangeness is softer around the edges, like realizing the background music spliced with laughter is actually breathing, or that the popcorn carts never seem to run out, even after everyone's gone. That first evening, the sky bled into peppermint stripes over the roofs. Stale popcorn smell mixed with something medical, faint as you'd miss it unless you paid attention. My supervisor, Mitch, or so he said, no last name, no badge number, gave me the tour. Only half of what he said matched the printed handbook. "The carousel closes before dark," he whispered as we passed. "Even if there are kids begging, just tell them the horses need rest." He winked, like that was an inside joke, but his fingers kept twitching near the oversized walkie on his belt. The costumed performers waved at us, but none made eye contact for more than a second. The mouse was off shift, but I caught a flash of huge plastic teeth turning away from the staff. Canteen. There was a constant itch between my shoulders, the sense of someone watching from behind the jersey columns or behind the blinking trash cans. The guests, for the most part, were the expected grab bag, worn-out parents, hyped-up toddlers, tattooed teens. But every now and then, someone didn't fit. A little girl in a spotless red dress stood perfectly still by the wishing well for at least 30 minutes. When I finally circled back, she was gone, a trail of damp footprints leading straight from the fake pond to the locked cast entrance. Around 8:55, the overhead guest relations voice quivered with a new announcement. "Attention all staff. Lost guest at the fantasy stage." Repeat, "Lost guest at the fantasy stage." It echoed oddly twice, then 3 times, as if the system was stuck. I scanned for my supervisor. Mitch was gone. I found myself alone at the edge of the stage, the sky deepening to navy. The lights felt brighter, staring. There's no real grass at Disneyland, Ohio. Only fuzz green mats. They always feel slightly damp. On the velvet railing hung a child's bracelet, little plastic beads spelling out Luna. Had that been there before? I didn't know the protocol, so I pocketed it with a weird twinge of guilt, just in case it mattered. Tom got slippery after that. My assigned break never came. The crowds thinned to dancers in the shadows, a family of 3 repeating the same conversation beside an unplugged Chuo cart. I tried to check the time, but my phone screen flickered to static, stubbornly stuck at 10:37. At close, staff are supposed to gather in pairs, walk back to the employee pod together. Simple, right? But I stayed late, by mistake, after answering a call for a cleanup in the adventure forest. There was nothing there, no spill, no broken merch, only the breeze, but it pressed cold and wet against my collar. The walkie hissed, cut out, and as I headed back I realized I was totally alone. That's when I heard it, the bell-tone chime, softer than a song, dragging out and echoing off empty brick. It made me stop. Lights shut off behind me, one by one, as if something was following close. That's also when I broke my first rule. I don't know if it really counts, but I passed through a staff-only backstage zone just for a shortcut, just because I thought I'd be faster, safer. I froze mid-stride, the dark stretching, swallowing, with an old mascot suit slumped on a bench in front of me. At first I thought it was empty, until I saw it shifting, panting lightly beneath the suit's floppy blue ears. One oversized paw lifted and waved the "don't come closer" motion, almost human, but too stiff. Its head didn't follow as I circled by, but I caught it watching from the seam in the costume, black eyes rolling like marbles. The rules said mascots shouldn't be alone. Rule number 7 kept tumbling in my skull. Was it breaking the rules, or was I? I felt a pressure in my jaw, like it wanted to ask my name in a voice too old for this world. I finished the last run of my rounds shaking, heart stuck in my throat. The park was wrong when empty. All that painted magic smooth flat. The music still playing slipped into reverse, tinkling half a beat behind itself. Doorways led to nowhere. I passed a mirror in the shuttered gift shop. My reflection had a different smile, too wide, showing teeth I don't remember having. Eventually, the intercom chirped again, "Staff to employee center, please. Close of business. Make sure to smile." I hustled out fast, not daring to glance back at the parade floats stored under tarps behind the gate. Something shuffled behind me, but I told myself it was the wind. By the time I clocked out, Mitch was back and grinning like nothing had happened. "First day nerves, huh?" His voice sounded like it was coming from the bottom of a well. My locker, somehow, was already open, even though I'd spun the dial. Inside, a fresh pack of smiley face bandages and a "welcome aboard" pin with a handprint sticker. The next morning, everything was back to normal almost, until I found the note in my locker. The second morning, I opened my locker to find all my things rearranged. My phone charger was rolled into a too tight spiral, my sneakers stacked heel to toe. Dead center was a folded slip of paper, torn at an angle and scribbled in thick black marker. I knew right away it wasn't the company font. I unfolded it, hoping it was just one of those dumb orientation jokes. The note read, "Don't ask about the rules. Don't follow the parade. Don't let them see you thinking." No punctuation. No signature. The last line had been crossed over and traced again, darker. "Don't join the parade." My skin prickled, as if the closet-sized staff room had grown teeth. For a long minute, I just stood there, eyes flicking between the other lockers, expecting someone to burst out laughing, to own up with a sheepish grin. No one did. I wanted to blame Mitch, or maybe that kid in the Mickey sweatshirt, anyone except myself. I scanned the morning crowd in the break room. The 2 quiet college students, the janitor mopping a spotless floor, Ms. Rabbit tinkering with the staff coffee machine, still never blinking, not once. Not a hint of guilt on any face. "What's up?" the question snapped me back. Lisa, one of the veterans, balancing 3 boxed muffins in one hand, lips fixed in a marketing-perfect smile. She saw me clutching the note. I tried to sound casual. "Did you ever get one of these?" I half showed her the paper, keeping the word parade hidden with my thumb. She glanced once, and the smile grew strained. "Oh, you're welcome" note. They do that sometimes. New folks get nervous, think we're all hiding things. Which is silly, right? Her voice wavered minutely. She popped one muffin into a side pocket. "Just keep your nose clean. Everyone's nervous their first week." That's all I asked, pushing, because there was something about the parade, and parade walkers? She cut in, too quickly. "Don't worry. Just, don't hang around after hours. Some folk think it's funny to scare newbies. Ignore it." She almost dropped her muffins, correcting herself with a nervous little laugh. Then, very softly, she added, "Don't let them notice you thinking too hard, okay?" Her words thudded. Down the hall, a delivery guy in mascot gloves was stacking boxes. He looked at me strangely, then rapped twice, rhythmically, on the supply closet door before vanishing behind swinging doors. Veteran staff had their own jokes and lingo. I'd overheard snippets the night before. Parade walkers was a term they muttered, never quite explaining, sometimes in warning, sometimes as the butt of an inside joke. Talk of second shifts, gate 9 airs, and old-timers in the tunnels floated in the air, always half a decibel too quiet, like something important turned down for broadcast. Everywhere I went, I caught darting glances, like people were checking if I was about to ask the wrong thing. My locker door sometimes jammed, then swung open easily for others. The employee Wi-Fi glitched my searches no matter what I tried. Disneyland Ohio rules brought up nothing but error messages and looping park commercials. If I left a drink on the break room counter, it'd be gone in 30 seconds, replaced by a bottle of water with the cap already cracked open. Worse, the notes started multiplying. A sticky note on my time card said, "Keep smiling. Management sees everything." An envelope with "Parade today?" Don't watch scrawled in smeared green ink lay under my lunch. Each time I tried to pinpoint who left them, someone would always say, "Don't worry. It's a prank, just the night crew being weird." But there was a tension in every reply, a thread of fear in the way people averted their eyes. "There's nothing to worry about if you just follow instructions," the quiet janitor told me in the hallway, gaze fixed on nothing. "Make them think you're like everyone else. That's safest." I started walking faster between shifts, avoiding empty corners and the rooms where the music never stopped. Once, I doubled back after lunch and caught a flash of white glove ducking into the staff elevator. The door slid shut before I could see a face. Are the notes a threat? A warning? Maybe both. Maybe something worse. Late that week, when I passed the costumed mascot from before blue fur and bottomless eyes, they were holding a parade baton, tapping it softly against the wall, in perfect time with my own heartbeat. For a while, I tried to play along, but things didn't stay quiet. You hear stories about night shifts from people at any job: janitors in high schools, gas station attendants, hospital orderlies. You expect a little weirdness when the sun goes down, shadows stretching, buildings emptying out. But at Disneyland, Ohio, night didn't just change the rules. It felt like a secret chapter of a guidebook only the old-timers could read. It started with little things. The background music, once cheerful, began lagging in places, notes slurring and looping in arrhythmic bursts. Sometimes it played songs I didn't recognize, full of hollow laughter and out-of-tune whistles. The air got heavier, thick with something like old perfume and wet pavement. Even the painted lines on the ground seemed to shift from time to time, subtly repositioned between breaths. On my third week, I was placed on closing crew with Lisa and a guy everyone called Red. He never explained why. Lisa whispered to me as we locked up the ticket kiosks, "Some say there's a 2 a.m. parade you should never watch. If you hear music after midnight, hide." I waited for her to smirk, but instead she just pressed a cold hand to my shoulder. "Smile, but don't stare." Red was less cryptic, at least at first. As we swept confetti by the Adventure Forest entrance, he muttered, "Don't trust the floats after dark. Sometimes they roll on their own. Just steer clear. And don't pick up anything left on the route." I glanced sideways at a discarded plush doll, a knockoff bear with mismatched button eyes lying on the ground as if it had just been dropped. I didn't touch it. That's when the crackle came over the radio. "Staff, we need a volunteer by Moonlight Pavilion. Bring your staff bag." Even the voice on the radio sounded shrunken, off-key. Lisa flinched. "Moonlight Pavilion's off limits after dark," she whispered, eyes wide. "You saw the rules." Red just laughed, but his laugh was dry, rusting at the edges. I volunteered because I was new and tired of being pitted. I walked past the locked carousel, the horse's flanks, once shiny, now mottled with something that looked suspiciously like bruises, and found the pavilion draped in shadow. There was no light, not even an emergency exit sign. In the center, sitting below a warped paper lantern, lay a single snow globe. The base read, "Disneyland, Ohio, 1998 opening day." It shouldn't have bothered me, but there was no record of an opening day in '98. The globe's water was cloudy. Inside, a tiny figure in a red dress stood perfectly still, back to the glass. I tried to hand it in to Lost and Found, but the door was locked. My radio crackled again. "Just toss it in the backstage bins." Only the bins were overflowing. Each lid weighted with dozens of identical snow globes, all with different names etched in shaky script. "Don't carry souvenirs," the rules echoed in my head. Without supervisor approval. I threw the globe away, but it clinked back onto my shelf the next evening, no matter how many times I tried to lose it. Guests started acting stranger. Real guests should have left by then, but I'd spot families wandering in circles, repeating the same lines. "Did you see the fireworks, honey?" "The fireworks, honey." Once I overheard a man at the closed food cart, eyes wide and glassy, asking Red, "Which way for the Gate 9 shuttle?" Red's smile flickered. "We don't have a Gate 9. That night, just after the magic hour, the music, the real, official parade music, rose sharp and slithering through the speakers. "You hear that?" Red muttered. I did. The melody was gleeful, sickeningly sweet, drawn out like syrup. That's when the floats appeared from the far end of Main Street, moving in a slow, lurching procession. Their headlights glared white and unblinking. The mascots, dozens of them, marched quietly, not dancing, not waving, just walking. Their faces looked wrong, jaws too long, eyes painted with the wrong colors. Among them walked a tall man in a faded suit, his face erased beneath a blank oval mask. Red hissed, "Don't look. Don't. For God's sake, watch their eyes." Lisa grabbed my arm, dragged me behind a vending machine. I shut my eyes, but flashes of colored sequins and impossible, twisting shapes filtered through the cracks in my hands. I heard footsteps, the tap-tap-tap of parade batons matching my heartbeat, stopping just a few feet away. Someone whispered my name. I didn't open my eyes. It lasted minutes, hours, impossible to tell. Then the music stuttered and stopped. The floats passed. When I finally blinked daylight back into my vision, Red had vanished. Lisa and I didn't speak as we hurried to clock out. After that night, the rules changed again. My printed packet had subtle alterations, new warnings written over old ones in red ink, instructions crossed out and rewritten. Rule number 8 was bolder. All staff must avoid the Moonlight Pavilion on and after the 13th of each month. Rule number 7 now said, if you see a mascot unaccompanied, do not approach or acknowledge. Maintain at least 20 feet of distance. Every shift, staff exchanged tense glances and coded phrases: parade time, going off route, smile check, never explaining, just surviving together. Each night was worse. The park's edges seemed to slide, reality bending sharper after midnight. My badge mirror sometimes showed the wrong room behind me. I'd hear 2 sets of footsteps, though I walked alone. Sometimes I found plush toys or parade batons left in places I hadn't been, always waiting, always returned if I tried to dispose of them. I couldn't take it anymore. I tried to quit. HR called me and Ms. Rabbit sat across the table, eyes glittering, hands folded. You can file your paperwork, she said, but you'll have to wait until management is available. You're needed for the next event. Each time, something blocked me. Emails bounced. Exit gates jammed. My own name on the schedule kept reappearing, different shifts, new assignments. Friends outside town stopped answering calls. The park wouldn't let me go. If you've ever worked a job you hated, you know the dread, the ticking clocks, the pointless meetings, the phantom stomachaches that show up just before your shift. But there's always the safety valve. You can walk out, call off, quit. That's supposed to be true everywhere. Even hell has an exit sign. Disneyland, Ohio has no doors that lead anywhere but back inside. I tried to leave. I really did. After the parade night, I went to HR first thing, heart hammering, voice steady. I want to resign. I can't do this anymore, it's not for me. Ms. Rabbit sat behind her little paper fortress, never blinking, fingers folded tight. Of course, she chimed. All departures require management approval. Please write a brief statement for your file. 1 page turned into 20. Each time I wrote, someone came by offering coffee, tidying my desk, humming an off-key Disney song. When I looked back at my paper, the words had twisted. I am happy here. I am part of the magic. I tried again, hand cramping, focusing on each letter. The sentence danced away from me, turned foggy, smudged, and rearranged itself on the page. Don't you want to smile? The intercom chirped overhead. All good cast members smile. I tried the direct route. I left my badge on the break room table and walked out the main gate. But something was wrong. I blinked, and the path twisted. A hedge that wasn't there before funneled me toward the employee parking lot. My car wouldn't start, dashboard lights sputtering into that terrible parade music on loop. I opened the door to run and heard footsteps behind me, just the echo of my own, but half a beat behind. I called my sister, desperate. The line connected, full of static. Hey, you have to help me. Something's wrong. I can't. A dreamy delay on her end. She asked about my cat. She said, you're not still in Ohio, are you? You were supposed to be done with that months ago. I checked the date on my phone. The same day, over and over. Every missed call or text from outside the park was undeliverable. I emailed my old roommate. Used every account I had. Hey, just tell me you can see this. Just write back. Please, just tell someone if I disappear. The reply came almost instantly. Away from keyboard. Out for a magical evening at the Disneyland Ohio parade. Wish you were here. The attachment was a gif of a smiling mascot waving the wrong way, hand on backward. Sleep was a joke. I'd drift off in the break room, head on arms, and wake at my post in the gift shop, sometimes with a thank you button pinned to my uniform that I didn't put there. Time stuttered. I'd hear snatches of staff talking about last summer's batch, or when when the schedule slipped a week, but no one would let me linger on memories. Once I met eyes with Lisa, wild with terror, and she mouthed, "Don't try. Just stay invisible. That's how you survive." Sometimes I try the exit every hour side door, loading dock, the staff gates marked with every flavor of encouragement and smile. Each time, something small changed. A hallway too short. A mirror reflecting a different person behind me. The music stalling in the air, skipping, waiting for me to move. Sleep deprived, I started to suspect my mind was splintering, that I'd just lost the thread and could brute force my way through if I focused enough. But every time I tried to piece together my shifts, the days warped away, leaving me uncertain if I was remembering or just imagining. I scrawled notes to myself, post-its stuffed under my mattress, tucked in my socks, messages like, "Don't forget, try exit every door." They were gone the next day, replaced with cartoon smileys or the sentence, "Back soon, love, the parade." You reading this right now. I kept thinking about you, all alone out there, maybe scrolling past this post at 3 in the morning, hungry for a scare from some loser in a dusty theme park. It isn't a game. You are real. I know you are. If I can reach even one person, then maybe it all means something. Maybe someone will believe me. Sometimes I try to stay awake, counting ceiling tiles, hoping dawn would come. Sometimes it did. Other times I'd blink and find myself stuck in scenes that didn't make sense, like watching animatronics reset, jerky and unnatural, repeating lines from rides that don't exist. Once, my hand brushed something cold in my locker and came away sticky red. There was nothing inside. The worst was when I saw the cast member with no face, right outside the employee restroom. The uniform perfect, the walk calm, but where a face should have been nothing, just smooth blank skin, and the echo of parade music in the corridor, rising faster with each step. I should have known then. The park wasn't going to leave me alone, ever again. This is the part no one ever gets to write. If you're reading this right now, if there's even a right now left by the time this hits your feed, then something went wrong, or maybe, finally, something went right. I can't trust my memory. I'm not sure if these rules are just ink on a page or fangs around my neck. But someone needs to know what happens if you don't play along. It started when I woke from a blackout in the break room, head pounding against the sharp plastic edges of a souvenir mug. It was late, too late. The clock above the fridge spun between numbers, never landing. I glanced at my hand. A new stamp I didn't remember, the outline of a smiling mascot in neon green. I still wore my uniform. The doors were locked, lights flickering. Someone had left a parade baton on the table, and the room felt wrong, edges breathing with each panicked heartbeat. I snapped. All at once, the need to get answers outgrew the fear. If the rules were a spell, maybe shattering enough of them at once could break me out. So, if any of you are reading this because you work here too, or ever will, maybe learn from me. Or maybe you'll just become another story. First, I took off my badge and uniform shirt and stuffed them into a trash can. Rule number 1 broken. My own name itched against my skin. Syllables swirling in the overhead static, something just out of earshot chanting, "Don't forget who you are." I bit my cheek till I tasted iron. Second, I left the break room alone after scheduled hours, out through an exit marked with a smudged handprint. The hallways shifted beneath my feet. What should have been a straight corridor now spiraled wider, plaster blurring into carved wood, then deep red velvet. I tried every door, most open to the wrong places. A maintenance closet filled with dozens of cracked snow globes, all fogged, all with tiny, unmoving figures inside. A staircase ending in an empty mascot head staring up at nothing. And once, a full-scale gift shop packed with grinning staff dummies. Their bolt-locked eyes followed my every step. Third, I opened a locker I knew wasn't mine, just despite rule number 6. Inside, my own handwriting, on aged notepaper, telling me to run. Underneath, my replacement badge, name spelled backward, already yellowing at the corners. Fourth, I followed the music. The reverse tape had started again, dragging me toward Moonlight Pavilion. I was off the schedule, off the map. No one should be here now. But the tunes curled through the speakers and led me to the back wall, where an exit sign flickered between exit and exist. My stomach turned. I stepped into the open and kept my head up. That's when security showed up, the not quite human kind. They moved in pairs, too tall for the uniforms, heads cocked at wrong angles, faces painted smooth and shiny. They hissed. All staff must remain visible during parade hours, in voices that overlapped, like a crowd echoing inside metal grates. I ran. Everyone's always asked, "What's it really like under the suits?" You don't want to know. I learned that too late. They caught my arm, and the fingers gripping me weren't hands at all, just stitched gloves tight, with something wriggling underneath. My vision blurred and shimmered. Their faces slipped like papier-mâché in the rain, showing too many teeth, then none at all. Mascot heads sat on their shoulders, some grinning, others maskless and featureless, their necks twisting as new voices whispered straight into my skull. "Stay forever. Stay a part of the parade. Don't you want to perform desperate?" I yelled my own name, loud as I could. It hurt. The security thing reeled as if struck, mechanical voice skipping. You are not scheduled." It let go. I staggered into the cutting wind of the fantasy stage. Lights all gone, but impossible shapes flickering at the corners. Then, desperate, I shattered the snow globe in my satchel. The glass cut my palm, cold as ice, and for a second I could see the park's true shape beneath the skin, the colorless bones and black rivers threaded under the pastel candy facades. I saw doubles of myself stagger in reflection beneath the rides. One in a red dress, one with a mascot head, one grinning with a Cheshire mouth that wasn't my own. I saw parents with eyes sewn shut, children with strings vanishing into the darkness overhead. I saw the main street stretching on into forever, the parade looping always, always, always. If something happens to me, someone needs to know, this isn't the only park. This isn't the only me. The rules protect more than just the guests. They're to keep the wrong things in, and sometimes to keep people from seeing what they aren't supposed to. If you're seeing cracks in the world, that's the real warning. The park has sister sites. Some aren't even on maps. I'm just the one who broke enough rules to see the machine inside the costume. They chased me past the snack stands, now bubbling and melting against a pulsing red horizon. Mascots laughed and pointed, no voices, just throats pulsing with static and the key change from the old parade theme. Sometimes, the guests moving through the crowd turned their faces toward me, faces strangely like my own. Sometimes, they didn't have faces at all. Behind me, security howled. The rules kept changing, numbers skipping forward and backward, haunting every sign. 13. Do not observe the changing cast. 17. Never watch the parade alone. 21. If you see yourself, run. Even my own phone flashed rules I'd never read, the cracked screen flickering with a message. Every story needs an audience. Please stay tuned. If you're out there, piece this together. Share it. Argue about what's real and what isn't in the comments. I don't care. Just don't let them erase me too. I keep thinking maybe posting this, writing this down, will make it less real. Or maybe it's the key to escape for someone else. If you see the cracks, if you see anyone watching from the edge of a parade, turn away. Now, I ran until my lungs caught fire, skipping through doors, backstage, everywhere. The real world slipping, faces gone. A mask pressed into my hand. Smile for the cameras. Then, nothing. Everything snapped to black, the world folding in. No sound but the faint, echoing parade music twisting through the dark. When I woke up, I was back in the break room, or something close to it. I came to in a world made of wrongness, a twilight Disneyland where the sky bled violet and gold. Every shadow fell at impossible angles, and the walls of the break room pulsed once, like a giant holding its breath. The air tasted of burnt sugar and old, leaking batteries. The clock, the bulletin board, even my own hands, everything stuttered, images flickering as if seen through shimmering water. I wasn't alone. Across from me stood a figure in a pressed black suit, face blurred at the edges, too symmetrical like a photo that's been edited one click too far. No hair, no lips, only a crease where a smile should be. Name tag gleaming gold. The manager. They were neither tall nor short, just exactly the right height to always look down on you. A voice, in my head and out loud at once, said, "We don't often meet employees at your stage of experience. Congratulations." Where am I? My voice barely sounded like my own. Is this real? They nodded, and the world echoed the gesture. You've broken containment, so to speak. Not many noticed the cracks. Fewer survived the parade. But every park needs maintenance. The manager's smile did not move, but the room dimmed, edges pulled tighter. Why me? I could barely keep my thoughts together. What is this? Why the rules? A soft laugh. To keep the story simple. To keep the audience behind the glass. The rules aren't for you. They're for all the little ones watching outside and inside. Each broken rule is an invitation. Each infraction pulls a little of us across, presses a little of you in. Their words rattled in my bones. I tried to run. My feet froze on the linoleum. You can't leave, they continued. Any more than a reflection can climb out of a mirror. Have you heard of Disneyland, Ohio before? No? Good. We like to stay off maps. There are other parks lost once. Closed once. Places where the rules slipped more than once. Their head tilted, far too far. Your options, continue as you were, in denial. Forget all this, if you can most do. Or take a new role as interim management. Much less pain, if you allow us in. They offered me a badge blank, gleaming, waiting for my name to write itself. One last thing, the manager purred, you're not. The only you, and not the only world. Someone needs to make sure the parade keeps going somewhere. Who reads these warnings, any way they mused? Only those already caught in the current. Tell them, if you must. My thoughts drifted. My vision shimmered with looping faces, friends, guests, masks. 100 other versions of myself, staring straight at the camera. It hurts to think, to remember. I feel myself sliding, strings tugging at my fingers, at my jaw. If you're reading this, don't reply. Don't look for Disneyland, Ohio. And if you ever wake up with parade music in your head, don't answer when someone in a blank badge calls your name. The world skips. My voice, my story fades, replaced by something else. Someone else. Smiling. Always smiling. This is my last message. At least, I think it's me sending it. My hands move through honey, slow and sticky, typing while another, colder part of me hovers just behind my eyes. If you're seeing this, if it even makes it out, don't reply. Don't tag Disneyland, Ohio, or HR, or management. Don't send help. For the sake of anyone you care about, don't look. You're probably scrolling late at night. Maybe your phone suggested this post because you watched too many haunted park videos, or because you commented on stories about lost attractions. Maybe you saw a listing for a magical work experience and wondered if you'd get free merch. I'm asking, begging you, please, don't apply. Don't visit. Don't let curiosity get you caught. If you have questions, leave them in the comments, on your own channels, share warnings if you want. But know this, someone may answer. You may not recognize their username next week. Rules can change. Sometimes the warnings disappear. Sometimes new rules appear, written in hands you've never seen. If your screen flickers, or a rule pops up that you don't remember reading, or you find yourself humming a song in a language you never learned, close everything and walk away. Check your own memories for cracks. I keep remembering rule number 7, the one about never letting mascots be alone. But tonight, I think I understand. The masks are for you, for us, the ones who can't leave the stage. If you see a handprint on a door, turn around. If you hear your name whispered after closing, run. If you ever get a message offering unlimited magic, delete it, block the sender, forget me. Before it all fades, one last thing, ask yourself, do you remember applying to this job? Are you sure? If you do, don't talk about it. Don't write it down. And if you recognize your own handwriting on a rule you never read, it's already too late. I have to go now. Management's waiting. Smile. Broadcast terminated.